Okay, so what I wanted to do is give you a small tutorial on some arranging techniques that I use to create custom arrangements for my band. I've looked online. I haven't really seen a lot of arrangements or people explaining the arrangement techniques on why they did certain things or techniques that they use to create more lush and full arrangements. Oftentimes, hey, with a custom arrangement, you can tailor it completely to your students, make sure that they are playing on their skill level, and maybe push them a little bit. You know, if you have beginners who are learning to play and they want to be included in full ensemble, but they just don't have the technique or the full range of some of the other students, hey, you can make an arrangement where they are integrated into the ensemble and they're getting experience, they're learning how to play, and they're not held back by a stock arrangement that you might get from J.W. Pepper, or you may hear some other bands play. So this is a great tool that a lot of band directors use already, but I've just never seen anybody walk through and say, this is the reason I've done this technique. Hey, maybe it's out there. If you know it's out there, feel free to let me know. But this is me just making a small little walkthrough of some things that I've done. Feel free to critique or give me some pointers on how to make it better or some things that you liked. Hey, go for it. All right, so the song that I chose to kind of walk through is "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers. You know, it's a very classic tune. I love the arrangement, great song. The first thing that you think about when you think about this song is the uh, bass lines. So I'm going to play that bass line for you. First step I think you kind of want to do when you get ready to arrange a song is you want to listen to that song at least 30, 40, 50 times. Really absorb it, find the little nuances in the song, find what you like about it, what's super recognizable about that song. So, like when people hear your version or your recording, you you'll have a they'll have a clear sense of what you're trying to get across. All right. So one of the most iconic things about this song is that bass line that starts at the beginning. All right. The way that I created that bass line is with a MIDI keyboard. You know, I figured out how to play it by listening to the recording. I took my MIDI keyboard, I hit the record tool, selected the measure that I wanted to start recording, and just played it. You know, I can go back and clean up some of the notes with editing. I made a mistake playing, and I just switched the notes. Or I could change the rhythm if the rhythm doesn't go in correctly. All right. And it's not even as complicated as doing everything each and every time. It's a great program, Finale. You just copy and paste it over, and boom. What you had here, just move it over, and it's in the next place. All right. The next little compositional or arranging technique that I use is the split tool. You know, you go up to this, you go up to the edit. No, you go up to the uh, utilities and explode music. So what do I do? I find the chords that I want to play. If you can look at right here, I have a D, a B, and an F. I would take those chords and I would play them on the keyboard, all stacked up in one, and then I would just explode the music to all the different parts that I wanted to go to. This first little thing that I added is the chord structure, and I just had a three-note chord, and I played that chord on the keyboard, put it into Finale, again, based on the players that I have, I think that's a great, easy melody line, clear intention of what that chord is supposed to be. And then to make it even a little bit more lush, instead of just having it played in the low brass with the trombones and baritones, I added it with my trumpets, my saxophones, and even my trumpet alto too, and the flute also played the same melody. That way you have these kind of stacks of chords, first, third, fifth, first, third, fifth, the root, and then you kind of want to put that fifth or the third on top. I'm sorry, the root or the third on top, based on what chords you're trying to produce. And now it's a little bit more of a rich sound. And then if you went through each one of these notes, you would notice he used the third, he used one of those original 3 notes, and I copied and pasted 2 different musical lines, so it's double in multiple parts. Doubling is a great way to make sure that students are listening across the band. They hear their part being played somewhere else in conjunction with somebody else playing another part that's very similar, whether it be clarinets and saxophones sitting right next to each other, or the saxophones listening across to the baritones and trombones, and everybody's starting kind of in a common place. I think that's a great kind of a thing to do. All right, the next thing that I added, after we think about that iconic bass line, and now we have the kind of the chord structure played across the band. We're going to add the melody line played by 2 instruments, the clarinets and the French horns. All right. Another important technique I want to use is to make sure that everybody is joining in and playing the melody. Nobody wants to be that backup player for the entire song. So that it's important that everybody gets a little bit of time in the spotlight and say, hey, all right, you're important too, you're part of the group. And this is that melody played by the French horns or the mellophones and the clarinets. Alright, again, copied and pasted my original work from the first 4 measures and moved it over. Alright, here's everybody playing that. You may have noticed that, hey, I didn't add any drums into there yet. The drums are a pretty important aspect of the music, but I usually add that last so I can make sure that all my chords and harmonies are all lined up. Here is the melody. I'm sorry, here's the percussion parts without the melody. Got one. Alright. Got a trumpet player playing up there. And you hear the drums. Again. Let me go down here so you guys can see what's being played while I'm playing. It's simple bass line, input one at a time, accents, got the cymbals going, quads drums, and it's again, I took the first 4 measures of the song and I just copied, pasted, and dropped it on the next part, and hey, makes kind of your work kind of cut in half. Especially if you have some players who are not as experienced, or hey, you want to make it an easy, accessible song, you can do something where it's not super complicated, and some things repeat. All right, so we noticed that that first 8 measures is pretty much the same together, and we're gonna let me here just give you just a taste of what the whole thing would sound like. Mhm. All right. So we're moving on to our next part of the song. You're going to notice that, hey, the people who have the melody has switched. It's going to switch to the trumpets. Oops, went too far. Let's see. All right, yep. It switches to the trumpets, the melody. Trumpets 1, 2, and 3, based on how many students you have and what you need double. Right now, you notice, like, especially the melody, everything is double. You know, this was, and you can easily add a third to make it more complicated, to give it a little bit more lushness or a little bit more difficulty, or to make it gives it a little bit more flavor. Here's an example of just the easy way to do that. Just copy, paste what you want. You can transpose, and you can move up a third diatonically. Let's see, can you see this? Add display window, caption window, transpose. All right, so this is, you didn't see this because it's another window, but basically what I did, I went to, I selected what I wanted, I right clicked on it. Let's see if I can do this again. All right, hit transposed, right click. All right, it pops up, and do a third. So the third, and you can do it diatonically. You'll just move everything up a third diatonically, and that'll give you an interesting melody. All right, let's see how that goes. Actually, let's not see how that goes. Let's just play what I had before. I'm gonna start in measure 9, just with the melody. And then that's the simple enough. When I wake up in the morning light, that's that part of the song. And then we're gonna add, check out the harmony that was with that. Oh, I also have the baritones playing that melody line. I forgot to show that baritone part. All right, but it's all right. Let's move on. Here's the harmony being played by the French horns, the trombones, the baritones, and the flute on top. Starting again in measure 9. So if I can back this up a little bit. All right. Measure 9. 2, 3. Also, this saxophones are playing. All right. Our next part of the song that we're going to move on to has a kind of a little bit of fall. And again, the song is definitely simplified from the original, what you heard, the original recording. But you can really get the gist of what the song is. All right, program crashed because I'm using a program called OBS to actually record the audio and the video, my voice, and my computer screen while working on this. So it's a great program where you can record a ton of different things and kind of display what you're doing on your computer screen. All right, so I'm gonna go back to that Score, the studio version. Man, it crashed again. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll pull it back up. All right, so the next part of the song that you're going to see is the kind of the bridge of the song right before it transitions to the chorus, or you can call it the pre-chorus. All right, here in measure 17 is where I am. You're going to see the melody again changes from just the trumpets and clarinets to include the mellophones, the saxophones, and clarinets. So notice I'm combining different timbres to create different effects at different parts of the song. The first part was just the trumpets and clarinets for the melody. You can see right here, just the trumpets and clarinets for the melody. The second part of the song, we have the trumpets and the clarinets on the melody included with the baritones. Especially like that first part of the song, you want to really make sure people recognize what they're hearing. So you want to double those parts, even triple the parts. And then when we move on to measure 17 right here, the timbre changes again. You know, you have the clarinets, the saxophones, and the French horns. And the trumpets are kind of giving you a secondary, that backup support. Notice that the trombones and the baritones, or the trombones and the tuba, have kind of been stagnant, playing kind of the same thing since the song has started. So it's definitely important to get them changed up and playing something different. At this transition at 17, the tuba is actually going to play a different melody line. This thing keeps crashing, but we're going to continue to work through it. All right, let's go back to the tuba line at measure 17. Gotta blow it up. Spread out again, spread out. Don't crash. Oh, don't crash. All right, so I see my trombone. I'm just gonna try to put my cursor just a little bit. All right, so in there. All right, at measure 17, I'm going to play the tuba. Measure 17. And it's a kind of a change. All right, I'm sorry, I added the other instruments in. Here's the tuba at 17 by itself. Gave them a little change and a little chromaticism just to make it a little more interesting. All right, so got some more saxophones and flutes playing up here. All right. I'm totally missed everything I was trying to show you guys. Let me go back just a second. Back to 17. Now I got just the tuba lined up. And, oh, not one, at 17. Just the tuba at 17. And you'll be able to follow along with it. changing rhythm to to notice the tuba and the flute are kind of doubling. Two. All right. The trombones, the baritones are definitely helping out at this area where they play with the tuba and mimic what they're doing, but the tuba's got a little bit more movement. Hey, at this point, yes, they're like sharing counter melody with the clarinets, saxophones, and mellophones from earlier. So again, like another little change where somebody else has the focus. Here's 17. A lot of these parts are doubled. And just using that explode tool, if you play the block chord, spread it out. Alright, take that block chord and just spread it out with using that explode tool, and you'll see that, hey, I can double my, let me give it a great example. The baritone one line right here is doubled up at the, that's a D flat and E flat, yeah, it's doubled at the clarinet 3. Alright, so even though it's not the same notes, they're very close. It's the exact same notes, doubled in a different range. So now you got the third trumpet player listening to your baritone. Everybody's playing together across the band. It's pretty cool. All right, the next thing is my melody for that. Before I get to the melody, you're gonna notice that, hey, there's a transition that happens with the percussion. I'll show you that part at 17. Up until now, they've been playing the same thing that they played at the beginning of the song. And here they make a transition and playing with the tuba and the whole band with a very similar rhythm to kind of double those parts and make sure everybody's together on the same rhythms. So here's percussion part at measure 17. Measure 17, just percussion. Same mimicking. Alright, we're going to get ready to move to that Love the Day part, which is kind of the main thing that's happening in the song. But I'm going to jump back just a little bit to show you the melody at measure 17. Again, with that different timbre that's being played by the clarinets, the mellophones, and the saxophones right here at 17. Really, really great. Just want to get you. Alright, really good, fits the same. If you want to take your first players and bring them up an octave, you can always just switch it up, bring them up and give them a little bit more difficulty if they're able to play up there, and a little bit more compositional variety. So if everything doesn't sound so low. Alright. And everybody at 17 has a really big transition where they go from playing kind of a major harmony to like kind of a minor thing. So I'm gonna jump back again. This is everybody playing, I think. Yeah, everybody's gonna play. And we're gonna start at measure 9 so you can like hear that transition. It's a rhythmic transition, it's a harmonic transition. It's a real clear point in the song where the next thing is happening. All right, this is clearly something different. All right, let's see if I can give it to you like this. All right, measure 9. Here's a big transition. Big transition from the previous section. Gonna keep on moving. All right, and now we're off to the big part of the song where it's kind of another transition where another group of instrument has a melody and something different is happening. All right, so we have a couple changes in parts. First one you might notice at measure, what measure is this? Oh, it crashed on me. Great. Let me figure out what measure that is when it comes back up. It's after, it might be measure 21 was where I left off at. Let me see, because 17, yeah, that was like a little 4 measure thing. All right, it crashed. Hey, that's fine. It's so deep in, there's no sense in starting over now. All right. I'm just gonna slide down to, all right, at measure 25. Right here is where we have this big kind of transition that happens. You're gonna notice that the baritones have a kind of a counter melody happening among themselves at 21. Let me play that for you. And then like this is another essential element of this song that goes the lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. At measure 25. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. All right, and then that's kind of a counter melody to this melody that the mellophones have. They're also doubled with the saxophones, so I really like that. Doubling mellophones and saxophones together, I think, plus that mid-range kind of a mellow tone that they share together. They really blend well. Here it is again at 25 with the baritones and the mellophones and saxophones playing kind of a counter melody. Lovely day. All right, again, most of the time that we've kind of played this song, or all the parts in this song, have been, pretty straightforward, doubling parts, not switching anything. But the saxophones and the mellophones kind of do this thing where they break up. The mellophones are playing the they start together at 25, but they transition to play like a first and a third between the first and second mellophones, and then the alto saxophones do the same thing. They do a first and a third, where a third apart in the counter melody. All right, let's just hear that. Again, I just took a third, stacked original. A lovely day, a lovely day, and stack the third on it and give it a little bit more richness. That's at measure 25. You can kind of see it going together. Oops. 25. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. All right. And again, you made your life easy by just copying and pasting a melody that you had somewhere else. All right, my trombones kind of do a little bit of a reprise. Hey, they bring that same kind of melody that harmony that they did at the beginning of the song back. So you notice at the beginning of the song they had these whole notes, dotted halves with the pa-dum. We brought that back. Another great tip, hey, why make up a new part? It's less music to teach. Let's go back and use something that we used before. And the tubas are going back to that original iconic bass line at measure 25. So we're gonna kind of bring that back again. All right, so again, like an easy, not even copy paste from here, copy and paste from the beginning. So we use that same thing. Why reinvent the wheel? If you have something that you like and it sounds great, hey, use that same thing again. It's less music for your kids to have to learn, and it's really less work for you. All right, I'm gonna go to this everybody's favorite part. You got these long whole notes in the clarinet and trumpets. I'm sorry, I missed that. The flutes at the beginning kind of have that lovely day. At 25, have the lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day with the baritones. That octave stretched apart. You see how you have something very low double up here. It really cut through if you add a woodwind and a brass together. So I am going to just play at 25 with a bass line to help keep tempo a little bit with the melody. 25. Here we go. This is, the part where it says like that day, a long time. 1, 2, deep breath. Bring up that first trumpet an octave higher. All right, and then we're gonna jump back. This is a little bit small, a little bit of error where this whole note should have actually extended for that full measure, like it does in the trumpets. So small little mistake there, but notice we got a first and a third. Got a fifth part right here. C and a G, C and a G, C and a G. And even when they make that transition, instead of just having that one note being played, hey, you can do a third. If I change this to a third above, like I could switch this, transpose it up a third, maybe make it a major chord. I can do the same thing with the next one. So have my second trumpet playing the E, and then that would be definitely like a major third. That would be 3-note melody or 3-note harmonization at 25. Check out and see, hey, does that make it more rich? Does it work? Does it not? Not bad. All right, doesn't sound too bad. Nice major chord right there. Bringing our song to the kind of the end of the repeat. All right, so let's hear how all these parts are played together. All right, and if I slide all the way down to the drums, you're gonna take a look and you're gonna notice something very similar. All right, we've learned this drum part already at the beginning of the song. We're bringing it back. All right, this is probably the big chorus. So bring something back familiar that they noticed. Brought back the bass line, we brought back the drums, we brought back that harmony in the trombones, and we have a new melody kind of over on top of it. So this is 25, everything together. Oops, let's not do that. That'll make it crash for sure. 25, everything. All right. All right, so that's that lovely day part. All right, notice my flutes are doubled with the baritones. My clarinets and my trumpets are doubled. My French horns and my mellophones, my French horns and my saxophones are doubled, and the trombones are kind of reprising that original harmony. Nobody's just out there playing a melody line by themselves. They're all backed up as a third or unison. The more experienced your musicians are, you can do even more harmonies. You know, put some 13s on there, do some 9s or whatever you feel like your musicians are capable of hearing and playing well. It's a great thing to get going. All right, I'm going to play the whole song for you so you can kind of see how everything just lines up together at once. All right, again, it's a Lovely Day by Bill Withers. Great song. I'm just going to play it all the way through from the beginning. And then you notice there's a repeat in it, so I'll just kind of walk through everything that's being played. Double, bass drum part. Just keep everything very similar rhythms. Melody change from mellophones, or playing a counter melody right here with the saxophones. They're playing the melody with the da 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 da, a little counter melody right there. All right, again, that counter melody is not even da 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 da. That's part of the song, but you know, it doesn't really come out unless you're listening for it, and it's just that little bit of extra that instead of just having a melody, a harmony, and a bass line, put a counter melody in there, change the drums up, add some layers to it to give it a little bit more. All right, we're gonna go back to 9. Actually, I'm gonna do 9 the second time so we can go ahead and get to the second ending. Rhythmic change. People playing the melody has changed. Trumpets helping out with the chords. 2, 3. counter melody from the melophones, double with the flute and the baritones. There's a rest right here, and 1, 2, 3. All right, just something to give a little finality to the end of the piece. Won't be the first person to do something like this. Something won't be the last. This is measure 35. The way it worked out, I think I cut some of this out so it's not like such a long break in there. I think I added a roll in there. And then 1, 2, 3. I think I did a breakdown from the drums. That's not written on here, but that's, just something you can do with your kids and say, oh yeah, this would be cool if you did this right here. And then you have to be written on the page. I mean, it will help, but they picked up on it. And then we finished it. 1, 2, 3. Together as an ensemble. And I just think this was a moving up chromatically from like a chord. Everybody just moves up. I forget what I did with this. It's been a while. But definitely you're gonna have some mirror parts. Let's see, what did I do? Then moved up. That's a double. These two are double. This is double. So, this is moving up chromatically. Same thing. This is so the same thing. Double. Just moving up. It's just a kind of a weird little transition. I forgot what I completely did for that, but I mean, there it is. All right, so that's the whole tune. Again, some of the things, doubling instruments, critiquing, making something really, really geared towards your kids, where they are, where you want them to be. All great reasons to make a custom arrangement as opposed to buying something that's stock, and you can fill in the gaps, make it more complicated. Again, let me know, hey, how do you like it? Does it feel maybe simple? Some things that you liked about the composition, some things that you think you would improve with the way it was written. Anything, feedback, I'm all for. Maybe if somebody has a better arrangement, they want to critique it or do the same thing, go through step by step and show me, hey, this is what I did, this is why I did this is why it sounds the way it sounds. This is great kind of feedback that we can work and build with each other as music educators. This is just one example of a song that I've done. I mean, there may be similar songs that I've done that have similar techniques, or songs that are like totally different than what I'm doing right than this. Even like a little pop song that came up that I wrote out. So I probably will do one of these again. Just let me know what you think. Again, feedback is great. I think some of the parts didn't play, like the tenor drum part didn't play, and that's just some little bugs to work out. All right. Thanks for watching, and start arranging. Good luck.